Hello and welcome to Week Exchange for CS 274 XML Programming. Jason here. And this week we're going to take a look at the challenge exercise. And that basically consisted of taking this CSV file here and we're going to convert it into an XML document. So by taking a look at the challenge exercise CSV here, we can see that there's some clear organization of the data. We've got our rows or columns that say class number. They're going to have the data associated, class name, CRN, start and end date, and an instructor and email. Basically, to convert to an XML document, we're going to take the same logical idea of associating the rows with the data. So we have an elements for class number, class name, CRN, start date, end date, and then instructor. But because this is an XML document, we need a clear root element. So essentially this is the fall 2018 schedule. So we have a root element of MCC schedule fall 2018. So we can see here that we kind of have the data mapped with the appropriate elements that correspond with the CSV document. So that looks good. But then the other portion of this exercise was to either make an XSD or DTD to go along with this document to help validate it. So I decided to use an XSD because I felt like this data needed to be basically, there were some dates in there that needed to be defined that I didn't think a DTD would really do the job. So let's take a look here. We have our namespace definition up here. Then we have our root element, that's the MCC schedule fall 2018, which is a complex type. And then we're defining the sequence here. So that looks good. So class number is pretty basic. It's actually class number, name are basic, so those are going to be string types. But then we have CRN. I wanted to put a restriction here because I only want to allow integer values, and they have to be 5 digits long. So if for some reason any other type of data was entered, it wouldn't validate because it needs to be 5 digits long and an integer type. So then we have an element of start date, and this is going to be a date, and I wanted to put a pattern restriction because I wanted to make sure it followed the pattern that was in the document, which is basically the date, month, year format. So we have that for end date, start date, and end date. And then instructor email is a string, but I wanted to specify a pattern for that as well to make sure that it validated properly. So we can see that XSD. So let's just kind of launch our XML to see what it looks like here. So it looks pretty good. So yeah, that's what I have for this week's Jing. I'd like to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.